Record again. I don't think I was recording last time, actually. Hi, friends. I'm waiting for one more person to join. Let's see where she is. How's everyone's day? Probably boring like mine. All right, I'll start. She's taking too long. Okay, so here are my things for what you need to learn before you start investing, honestly. I feel like if you have a hell of a lot of debt, you should not be investing. If you don't have savings, you should not be investing. If you didn't educate yourself, you should not be investing. Because a lot of investments, honestly, the average return is like 6 to 10%, maybe 15 on a lucky day. And if you have credit card debt or student loans are usually like 15 to 17%, and credit cards like 20%. So if you are paying off credit cards at 20% and you're making 10% on an investment that you did, you're not even making any money. You're still losing money. So I feel like you should literally pay off as much of your debt as you can. Obviously, not all debt is bad debt. So like car payments, you don't need to rush and pay off your car if you just bought a new car. You don't need to pay off your house in 2 days. Like things like that are building credit, you don't need to pay off super fast. But things that are building credit with super high interest rates, you should for sure pay off first. And then savings, I feel like you should have 3 to 6 months saved before you start investing. At least 2. Because if you can have 2 months, unless you're gonna quit your job or another corona comes by, you should be fine. And then when you start investing, you need to learn diversification, because everyone, as soon as they start investing, wants to put all their eggs in one basket. And that's literally not okay, because if that investment tanks, all your money is gone. Versus if you have like $10 here, $5 here, $100 here, $1,000 here, and one of those tanks, you still have 8 other things to make money. Education literally is the best investment. So like, this is obviously your first step, or probably second, but like read books, read articles, take courses, get mentors. Courses I'm not the hugest fan of. Like I've bought a few that are like really expensive and they were worth it, but I don't know if it's necessary. I don't know if I would have done better without it or not, but it's something you should look at. NerdWallet is personally my favorite website. They have everything you need to know, every investment you need to know, every broker. They compare them, they give you ratings, they tell you which ones they think is best, which ones people think are best. And I feel like that's where I learned most of my things from NerdWallet. Because especially everyone thinks, oh, investing, stocks, real estate. Like there's so much more you can invest in. Like there's real estate, obviously, but there's real estate trust that you can invest in. Then you don't have to buy or own anything. You can just put money into it. You can do stocks, but there's also, you can day trade stocks. You can trade options. You can do crypto. You can do Forex. You can do, like, there's so many things that I feel like if you don't know, you're just going to be like, I'm going to invest in the stock market. And you might be bad at long term, but you're good at day trading, or vice versa. And so, or you might want to invest short term, but you should be investing long term. Like there's so many things that you can invest in. So I feel like doing your research will help you and help you be a better investor. And then once you learn the 4 things above, like you got some money, you're ready to invest, boom, boom, boom. Even though since we're in a recession, you should just invest now anyway. But scared money doesn't make money. Every time I talk to someone new about investing, they swear like, I don't want to lose any money. I'm so scared. Or what do I do? Blah, blah, blah. Literally, you can't be scared, because if you have it sitting in your bank account, it's not going to make any money. It's just going to sit there. And a lot of things people also say, like, I don't want to put money in an account and can't be able to take it out, because like some accounts you can't take money out for 10 years or 5 years or whatever. And like, that's the point. Like, it's going to make so much money in those 5 to 10 years that what's the point of taking it out now just because you want a new pair of shoes? The stock market always recovers, so no fear of missing out. Literally, I made that mistake today. I literally saw a stock go up 100% yesterday, and I was like, oh, maybe it'll go up some more today, like an idiot. Bought in today and lost money like immediately, like in like 30 minutes. And that's literally like the biggest rule. Like obviously if it goes up 100%, that's just a huge return. Like that's so rare. Like why would you even want it to, like expect it to go up more? So there's already so many opportunities, because I played that stock and I lost, but I played 2 other stocks that went up 100% today and made twice the money. So it's like, never have a fear of missing out. There's so many opportunities, and just don't let your emotions get the best of you. And also number 3, underlined and bolded, you will lose money. But just make sure, like I said today, like I lost a good bit of money and then made double it on 2 other stocks. So that's why you diversify. Make sure your wins are higher than your losses. So when you lose money, it's like, and then by the time you make more money off the investment, like things that, like when I first started, $500, losing $500 would like stress me out. But now, like if I lose $500, I'm like, okay, whatever, I'll make 1,000 next week. Like, it's like nothing. So you get to a point where like you're building and you can take on risk and you can take losses, because that's how you learn. Your losses are how you learn. And then after that, now you're ready to be an investor. So you need to pick out the type of investor you want to be, obviously. You need to set goals. You need to set plans. Like my goal for quarantine was to double my initial investment. Well, it was by June. So it was like try to get to 100% by June. And I did not get to 100%. I could show you, but I hate this screen share on this app. I am at like 40%, 47%. So, like I said, I am a little greedy. So, oh, here's my friend joining. I am a little greedy, so I really don't settle for 10%, but 10% to 15% is a good return. But obviously I'm trying to make it. So, welcome, friend.
Hi.
How are you?
I just got home from work.
That sucks. I'm still working, but I'm jealous at the same time.
I know. It was so busy today. I'm like washing my hands and my face.
Amen. But yeah, I'm just talking about going through. There's a few other people in here with us, just so you know.
I figured.
Yeah, so I was just going through it again. My 4 steps. Where am I? Oh, broker. So finding the right broker to use is honestly everyone's personal preference. For me, I like Robinhood because it just looks easier. It looks less intimidating. I feel like a lot of these brokers are for some real hardcore investors, which, I mean, all of us want to be one day, but I feel like this just looks more simple to me. Like it looks like, okay, like, oh, I could do this. Also, what I need to talk about, pre-market and aftermarket. So today I made 2%, obviously after losing all that money. And then aftermarket, I recovered it. The market moves more at the end of the day and in the morning. So if you're investing and you want to invest, even if you're investing long-term, you want to invest in the morning at 9:30 to 10, or you want to Eastern time. So it sucks for the LA people, because when I go back to LA, I have to wake up at 6:30 if I want to keep doing this every day. And it closes at 4 o'clock Eastern time. But I think it still goes until like 8 p.m., 6 p.m. I lied. Aftermarket is 6 p.m. So 4 to 6. So I don't know if everyone in the group before, I felt like we're more interested in long-term or swing trading, because swing is what I'm doing now. If you want to day trade, it's a little more complicated because you'll be watching all this every day and making money off these little moves, versus I kind of like to buy here and then just watch it and then come in tomorrow and like sell it here or something. Like I like to leave space so I don't have to watch the market every day, even though I do watch the market every day because I'm just so obsessed with it and I have nothing else to do because I have no job right now. So that's my life. I feel like most people who are here are beyond Acorn, but if you're not, if you want to learn how to invest and you're super scared, I think Acorn is the best app because it just does your roundups. You know, if you spend $10.50, the other 50 cents to the 11th dollar will be added. So it'll be saving money for you subconsciously, and it invests it for you. And when I first started, I used Acorns. I still use Wealthfront and Betterment because I personally like robo investors, like bots. I don't like going to like Charles Schwab and having a broker. Like technically, if someone wanted to pay me to trade for them right now, I'd be a broker. But I don't like having someone trade for me because emotions are involved. And I don't want anyone else's emotions or my money. Like if I trade myself, those are my emotions, and then just whatever the robots say is theirs. There's no emotion. So when I first started, I downloaded Robinhood, but I didn't use it. I've had it for 2 years, and I just started using it in March. And then Wealthfront and Betterment, I've had for a long time because they just robo invest. Wealthfront is what I used after I got to $1,000 in Acorn, and that's like my medium time frame. So it's like I like a long-term investment. I feel like it's like 5 years or more. And then a short-term investment is like anything under a year, I feel like. And Wealthfront is like, oh, I just use it in 3 years. I'll see where it's at and take some money out, maybe invest it in something else. Sometimes I pull from it to use towards other investments. So I pulled from it to learn how to practice trading during quarantine a little bit. And Betterment I use for my retirement because I don't have a full-time job. I'm self-employed, so I don't have a 401k or like any benefits from a job. So if you have that, you don't need a retirement, but it doesn't hurt to have another one. Webull, Tastyworks, and E-Trade are also good ones. Webull is kind of like Robinhood. They give out free stocks, and I think it's easier to look at. E-Trade is nice because they don't have commissions when you day trade. Thinkorswim is what I use to look at charts and practice options. But honestly, to start, it's extremely intimidating. I'm going to show you what Thinkorswim looks like. It looks like this. As you can see, this is a whole lot. Once you get used to it, it's kind of not that bad. But obviously, like when you're first starting out, you're like, what the fuck is this? I just want to buy something and hold it till next year. Then you don't need to look at this. Charting does help because for me, I like to look at, let's just go to Robinhood because it's easier to see things like this. I like to look at the high of the last like few years. This isn't a good stock. This is like a new-ish stock. Let's do an oil stock. Okay. So in 1 year, so right now it's at $6. Its high is, that was this year. We need to go back longer than that. 2015 is at 27. It's usually at like 2016 is like its highs. So right now it's at 6. So if you bought this stock and just held it until the market recovers, you're probably gonna at least make double your money because it's gonna at least go back up to 12. You see what I'm saying? So I use charts for long term anyway just to see. But for the most part, everything is down, so you can't really lose right now if you're doing long term. The only way you can kind of lose is because it's weird right now. The markets are moving a lot. Like Tesla has been up and down every week. Like it'll go from like 800 to 890 to 900 to 700. So investing in a stock like Tesla right now could stress you out if you don't buy it. If you buy it at like 900 and it drops, then you're going to be stressed as fuck instead of like buying it at 700 and just holding it. So I feel like you should invest in, I do oil, cruises, airline stocks, even though airlines went up today. So if you had it, you know, you made some money like I did. If like I've bought Boeing before, as you see over here, and it went up. Where's Boeing? Right here. I wouldn't buy it today. I'd wait for it to go back down. I've bought an American Airlines before, and I'm really sad I didn't have it this time because obviously it went up 43%, which is huge. Because most stocks you see go like I said, 6 to 10%. I personally have bought, all the oil stocks have been moving so much, so I buy them when they're down 10 to 20% and sell them when they're up like this. But the last time I invested, I just looked at the biggest movers at the time, and they were these 5. I sold a few yesterday because they were up, but either way, the market always recovers. So see, I'm waiting for this 3% to just at least go back to zero, and I could sell it. 1%, like once that goes up and I'm in the green again, I could sell that. I have 400 shares of this. I sold half of it because obviously it's up 40%. So just in case it tanks, I've made my money. So any of these as well, like these are all, look how cheap they are. They're $4, $9, $5. Most of these are going to go back up to 16, 20 when the market recovers. So if you're holding for long term, you honestly, you can't really lose right now unless you're doing retail or movie theaters because they're going out of business. So that's also why news is important when you're investing in stocks. I'm the worst with news, honestly. I don't really check it that much. But see, today this happened, so these two stocks tanked. And if you didn't know that, you'd have bought. Well, it's kind of good for us because then you can buy it a little cheaper. And then when it goes back up, because we know Amazon and Tesla will definitely go back up, then you'll make money. So it's really, I wouldn't say it's easy, but it's not that hard right now. Like I'm honestly scared for how good I'm going to be when the market recovers, when everything's normal and it's moving like a little bit a day versus like since we're in a recession, things are just going crazy. So just so you know, like right now, like it's going to be so hard to lose. Like I said, look at movers over how much they've dropped over a long trend, but not the movers who are moving every day, because if you're holding long term, you don't want those movers like Tesla who are moving every day because you're gonna freak yourself out if you're gonna look at the graph every day. If you can just buy stocks and not look at them and not check your phone every day, you'll be fine either way. But most of the time you can't. You want to see the gains as they happen. Like I said, market open and close, and then like I said, these are the apps I use. Oh, I forgot. CIBC is a high interest savings account, which is kind of like an investment account. You only get like 3% per year, but I don't think Bank of America even does 3%, or like Chase. Like none of those banks even have any interest, I don't think. So I feel like if you need a savings account, that's also a good way to start investing because yeah, you're only making 3%, but you're still making money. A lot of these apps though already have those. So like Robinhood has one, Betterment and Wealthfront have one. And I didn't know because I had CIBC before I really started opening investment accounts. Cause I was just like, oh, I'm gonna save money first. Like I said, you should. So you can do both. You can keep them separate, which I like to do, but it's kind of cool to keep them together because like now that like I have Robinhood and I got a hang of it, it'd be nice to have my savings connected so I can just pull the money out. Like right now I have CIBC linked to my Robinhood, but it takes like a week if I do anything more than $1,000 for it to come in. And if I want to play something that day over $1,000, I lost that play. But also, I think a lot of people don't want to be risky, but I feel like most of us are all young, so we can be risky. Like most people shoot for, a 10%, 15 is a great percent on the return, but I'm shooting for 100% by the time I go back to work. We'll see. I'm already at 47% in the past since March, and I see there are plays where they're cheap. Like I think I bought this at like $1, and it's already at 3, so I made 150%. And you have to buy a lot of those. I feel like to make more money because again, like I said, it's a percentage. So if you put $100 in and you make 10%, you made $10. But if you put $1,000 in, you make 10%, you made $100. So yeah, you could probably lose that money, but you really can't because even when the market goes down, look 3%. So yeah, I'm probably down like $200 because I bought 200 shares, but it's only down 3% versus like it's not like you'll put in this much money and then you'll lose the 100% investment. So I feel like you should always just put more money up there. I suggest starting with 500, but when you're comfortable in what you have. So I think that's really it. I talked about charting a little bit with the last group, just in case. I think it's not really that important for long term, but basically candles are what you look at when you see a chart. So this chart is on the 15 minutes. So each candle represents 15 minutes. And the wicks are the high and low of the day, or the 15-minute period. And then the lower end of the square, the box, is where the 15 minutes opened, and the top part of the box is where it closed. And then vice versa for a negative one. So negative one means this 15 minutes, it opened here and it closed down here. Then this was like the high or the low. And you can switch graphs from like a day to like 4 hours to an hour. So one day now, each candle represents one day. So this is one day here, and this is one day here. And you can just see the movement. Like this day was negative, this day was negative, and these days are green. So you can, but that's like more complicated. But that's for maybe if you wanted to invest in Boeing, like I said, and you're like, when should I buy? Like it's been down, so maybe you want to wait for Boeing to drop back to $90 before you buy. It's possible, probably not soon, but it just shows you overall trends. Like, see, this is the downtrend, so you would not want to buy here. You would just wait and buy here, and then it'll just go back up. And then, so that's why like charting is kind of important, but I don't think you need to learn it unless you're trying to swing trade or day trade. But that's really it. Does anyone have any questions on anything? Because I can answer any questions anyone has. I think everyone has the tools to start investing though. Make your money. Don't lose your money. It's really hard to lose all your money. If you invest, you might lose a lot, but you won't losing all your money unless you're trading options. It's so hard to lose all your money. Yeah, thank you guys for tuning in.
How do you feel about Forex?
Okay, Forex, I feel like I don't like it only because people made it like a scam, like a pyramid scheme. It's real legit, but it's definitely, it's kind of like I'm learning options right now, which is it's like reading charts like this all day. And that's how Forex is. It's a day trading thing, and people read the chart and they like buy here and sell here, and they look at currencies all day, and they kind of watch the market. Like, you don't have to watch the market all day, honestly. Like, some people who day trade, honestly, trade for like 2 hours, they get off, come back on the end of the day. So if you're down to day trade or like to be on the market and learn how to chart, learn these like patterns and these moving averages, Forex could be cool, and you can make a lot of money off of it. But it is stressful. I've been trying to learn options. I'm pretty sure Forex is just as hard, and it's really hard. It's fun though. It is fun, but it's hard.
I get you, because all my timeline, other than like whatever's happening, they're like, "Oh, get on my Forex, get on this, get on that." I'm like,
girl.
So we're making this into a pyramid scheme all over again. Like, what else? What other one is like bombarding my feet? I'm like, yo, like y'all gotta chill.
Facts. I thought it was a pyramid scheme deadass until the person who told me about options, he said he started in Forex, so it's legit. It's just the whole point of like people are making like these websites where you pay $20 to join, and then they like give you a course on how to do it, and then you build all that kind of stuff. Like, you don't have to do that. You literally can just like, my friend was just like Google classes on how to do it, but it's if you can learn it, it's worth it. Like, you can make a lot of money. I don't know if it's as much as options, but options you could make a lot of money. Like, yeah, I'm shooting for like 40% in regular stocks, but in options you can make like 200% every time. But as you can see with options, this is just today. Like, I had a good day yesterday. I made like $50 on an investment that I paid like $20 for. So obviously that's like a $200 return. But since I'm scared, I've only been like doing like $10 options to make $10. So I don't know if Forex is the same. I think Forex is like you catch the exchanges of the exchange rates. So that's why you have to like watch it all day.
I know. I mean, like, for me, I can't really do it, but I see when the foreign currencies at work, they're changing because I work at a bank. So I'm like, oh, they're up, they're down. So
yeah, it's like, I know the options, they say you can swing trade with options. That's what I'm trying to learn, but I feel like it's so hard. Like with stocks, it's easier. You can just buy a stock. Usually in a few days, it's going to move. But with options and Forex, I feel like I wouldn't feel comfortable if I'm not sitting in a chart. But it's the same thing as like, you have to learn support and resistance, which is like these lines here. And it's more like, so if like if it exchanges over this line that you think was like the high of the day, if it breaks it like this broke Boeing, it's a new upward trend. So you have to like learn shit like that, which is, I mean, I'm only, it's because I'm in quarantine. Like if I don't get this shit down packed by the time I go back to work, I don't know if I'm gonna do it. But like it's, I don't know. This girl made $100,000 on Tesla in one day on options, so I'm like trying to not give up.
I get you.
But I mean, yeah, it's just like you just gotta see. This is all intimidating, but you'll have like indicators like this, and you'll have to watch things.
What software is this, Erica?
This is Thinkorswim with TD Ameritrade. It's the best worst. Oh, but honestly, if you do like Forex or options, this lets you trade fake money, which is good. Because day trading is so hard. You can switch from, like I'm on real money right now, but you can trade fake money in practice.
Wow, I've never heard of this before.
That's really what I'm saying. Like me neither. Because you don't really need it unless you're trading like Forex or you're trading like every day. Because if honestly, like I said, like if you're just trading for the long term, you only need to learn Robinhood, or you need to learn like, I don't know, what's another good one? Webull, and just like pick some stocks, or even like the Apple stock market. But if you want to learn how to day trade, or not even day trade, you can just learn the market and learn what people do with their money all day. You can just get this. But it's very, like I said, this is so intimidating, even though I added all these indicators from watching YouTube. So I know this is like very overwhelming sometimes. So I wouldn't suggest starting with this application, but I definitely, like a lot of people just watch the charts on this, because you can chart things a lot better and a lot faster. And then you just go to Robinhood and then make your buy or whatever. But Robinhood to me just looks so simple. So it's like, oh, okay, it doesn't look scary. Like I could do this. So that's how I feel.
I used Robinhood like a long time ago, and then I like deleted it. I guess because I stopped using it because I've been more so I'm a long-term investor, so like I kind of just leave things alone and just add it in monthly. But I've always like found it interesting, like day trading, or people that actually their job is actually just stock trading.
That's literally how I started. Like I literally started with, I think I started with Betterment, and I started with Wealthfront. And I downloaded Robinhood a long time ago. I downloaded it 2 years ago, and I'm just too scared to like buy stocks. But I would like look at the stocks that were doing well, or look at Bitcoin, or look at this. But I really just use Betterment and just put money in it every month.
Oh my God, that's really cool. I remember seeing Wealthfront and Betterment, and I was actually wondering like which one was the best. So which one do you prefer?
Well, Betterment people use a lot more for their a retirement, but I personally like Betterment better.
That's interesting. Okay.
I like Wealthfront like short term stuff. Like I have money in it, but I feel like it feels easier to use Betterment, and I feel like the gains are pretty much similar, but I feel like they're a little bit better on Betterment.
What do you think about Acorns?
Acorn, look at you. The Acorn was on my list. I started with Acorns. The best.
Oh my God, okay, cool.
I started with Acorns, and then when I got it to 1,000, I moved that to Wealthfront. Because Acorns lets you, it's like the whole robo-advisor thing, like Betterment and Wealthfront. Like you just say, like, I want to invest aggressive, or I want to invest moderate, and it rounds up your payment. If you spend like $50 on something, the other 50 cents gets added to Acorns, and they invest it.
Yeah, it's so interesting because I do use Acorns, but I don't use the change thing because I think it's kind of just, I don't like that at all. But I do like using the long-term investment one, and then I use the regular investment account, but I still have my goal set for long-term because I don't plan to touch it.
Right, smart. I think I like long and short. Honestly, like my Wealthfront, I kind of take from it kind of when I want, but I really don't. And then now I'm learning how to trade like short, like swing trading and stuff. But I just think having eggs in different baskets is always great. I learned that there's this thing called like, there's apps where you can invest in real estate without buying a whole building or buying the whole house.
Oh, I want to get into that.
Yeah, they're called REITs, REITs, and like there's one called Sunrise. Let's see if I haven't done it yet because I try to like do my research, like what's the best rate of return, what you know.
I tried one of those. I forgot the name of it, to be honest. I put like $100 in there, but I think you actually have to put in more than like just $100.
Yeah, Sunrise was like you have to put in like 1,000. Most of them are like 1,000, and then Sunrise you can't take anything out of it for 5 years, like off back.
Oh my god,
that's what turned me off on it. Because I was like, dang, I mean, that's the point of real estate, but I didn't want that. 5 years obligation is like harsh, real quick.
That's interesting. Okay, well, I'll look up Sunrise. I mean, that sounds like a interesting investment. And I do want to get in real estate. My only thing about it is I don't want to have to deal with like the tenants and any of that. Like, I hate administrative stuff. So I don't want to have to deal with that responsibility.
Yeah, that's so true. That's how I feel. And then I learned like there's REIT stocks that are like kind of like that. Like the SP 500 is like a stock, but it's like a bunch of companies. Like there's REITs or like real estate stocks that are, I'm trying to find them. I found them one time. Like this is a stock you can buy, but it's like a bunch of like real estate. It's like a real estate trust. So you can just like put it in the stock market and then wait for it to go up instead of just getting an app. I'm an app person though for some reason. I guess because I'm young. They just feel better to me.
I mean, it's like it's already, you're on your phone 24/7 anyway.
Right.
Like, it's already there.
Yeah.
Real estate is hard, honestly. But
have you looked into Fidelity?
I have not. I've seen it everywhere. Like Fidelity, I feel like Fidelity's like Vanguard. Those are legit.
Because I like me, I already had stocks without even knowing it. Because like I've been working for Starbucks like long term, and it's about to be 10 years. But like I don't work as often as I do there. But like they gift you stocks. So right now with Starbucks, I have like 12 shares. And it was all for free. I didn't pay for anything of them. And then like, they also help you out with, oh, well, you can either buy it or wait, or you can basically buy it now and then cash it out or whatever. So there's that. And there's also like, my 401k is with them also.
Right.
So right now, and then now that I'm working at the bank, I have stocks with the bank too. And then I have my 401k starting on there.
That's not. I know a lot of people are getting like stocks now, stock options, and I'm self-employed, so I don't have none of that shit, which sucks for me. So that's why, like, for the most part, you don't really need anything but a short-term account if you want to play with, or your extra. Because I feel like once you get other jobs, you can always just transfer them over; they don't go away. So I've heard. So like you're pretty much chilling, and then you can just make another one for whatever you want to do on the
I mean, that's why I use Robinhood, like, because I'm like, all right, well, I feel like playing with a little bit of money right now, like my money, because I had Acorns before, but I didn't like. It was like, oh, let me just round up, and I was like, no, you're messing up with my my system, my budget.
I don't like the roundups either.
I was like, what is this?
My favorite.
So, and I know Acorns is a part of Fidelity, so I was like, okay, well, I don't know how I feel. So I was like, I don't really like the Acorns thing because everyone's like, oh, do this. I'm like, I want to know where my money's going specifically, not just like, oh, it's going to go to this. It's going to go to that. I'm like, okay, but I didn't, like, I don't, what is that? So I like knowing what it's going to.
Right.
But at the same time, it's also like, all right, well, I don't feel like thinking right now. So I wish somebody would do it for me. That's one that would come in handy. But
so are you not so much interested in mutual funds, but just individual stocks themselves?
I mean, I'm still trying to figure that. Honestly, I'm still trying to figure that out. Because, I mean, I have stocks coming into me for free, and then like with the bank, it's my money, but it's coming out of my paycheck. But that's like something that I don't have to think about. Like every paycheck, it's like I'm inputting like $100 in for my or like $50. So that's about like $150 a month, and then it just buys how much like the stocks cost right now for that bank, and it's like something I don't really have to worry about. Also with Starbucks, but with Starbucks is like you get gifted those, like you basically accept the grant, and then once they vested, so like a year you get 6, they give you 3 beginning of the year, but if like let's say you leave before they vested, you don't get to keep them. So once they vested, they're completely yours, and then the other like 6, the other half, like November is usually when the other beginning part of the 3 stocks you get, it's vested and that's yours, and then they grant you another like 3, and then once that rolls over to the next 6 months, it's yours again. So that's just how, it's like, well, they're like, oh, free money. I'm like, hell yeah, give me the free money that I don't gotta think about. Free is always nice.
Yeah.
Mutual funds are good because they give you that like average like 6 to like 15% a year. That's why they're great, and you'll just make that every year, and over time you put like more money in it, and they'll just grow and grow and grow. But stocks are more like the more risk, the more reward.
Yeah.
Like I'm shooting for like 100%, which is a stretch on my stock account, but it's not impossible. I've seen it. Like today I played, let me see what I played. Today I played 3 stocks that made over 100% return. They were cheap. So it's very doable, but finding them is the hard part.
Yeah, it's like, how do you know like it's actually doable?
So let's see. So like these are all up over 100%. Cidium, I don't like reading these actually. And then my total account for the year is up 47. So it's possible to get way more than, especially I think it's just during Corona. Like I feel like I'm only a good trader because of Corona. Like once the market recovers, I don't know if I'm gonna be this good because I think things won't move as much. Like things just move for fun these days. So you can just like really just like put your money in something. It's like boom, it's gonna move, and then once everything's up high again, they're probably just gonna all stay at a normal range. I feel like.
Yeah. And like also like what you were saying earlier, like watching or like joining groups, like, oh, this is what I'm investing on today. Like, like kind of sharing the wealth with everyone. But there's a lot of people that I've seen like on my timeline. They're like, oh, I made so-and-so, but like what, show what you're investing in, help other people out. Like
no one's doing that. Buy this today. Like they'd say, oh, I made this today. And you're like, what did you even do? Like, especially with options, like everyone just flexes on these groups, like how much they make, because options you can make so much, but they never say like the play they did, which in options is so much more complicated. We need to see the actual play, because other than that, it's like I don't know what you did.
You're like, are you bullshitting, or are you like, are you editing yourself? Like, show me the Carfax.
But you see, that's why I like mutual funds, because I know like I'm guaranteed to get probably an average of 12 to 14% over several years. And I'm like, I'm a patient investor. So that's why I'm like, I'm just going to leave it alone.
Yeah, patience is key. I don't have patience. So it's just, I'm like,
I am that too, because I'm like, before when I wasn't working, on my days off, I'm just like, all right, what's going on with Robinhood? And like the nice thing about Robinhood on the app, like, oh, this is the news. These are the people that are moving. These are up right now. Right. So I was like, okay, and it's so simple. Like for me, Acorns, I was like, what? I don't understand this app. Like, why is it so complicated? But then again, I haven't looked at that until like I already closed it. So that's probably like, obviously when everything got better. Mm-hmm. But for the most part, it's like, all right, I don't know. And like Robinhood is so easy. They're like, oh, you want to buy shares? Do this, do that.
Right, it's just so smooth versus like Thinkorswim. Like people buy stocks on here, like just to hold. And I'm like, how? I don't even know how the fuck you buy stocks on this app to hold. Like I really don't. Like I know how to buy options on this app, but like this, like I know what this means, but I don't even know how you would just buy a stock flat out. Versus like Robinhood, it makes it so much easier to buy a stock flat out. So.
And I like how it shows the percentages on there, like, oh, they're up right now, they're down right now. It's like so simple.
And I'm like, change it till today. Like I had it on.
Wait, what?
Like you can change like whatever it shows you. Like let me see if I go back to the website. Like I had it.
I'm on my app right now.
Yeah, so
I'm
like
trying
on
to
the
see.
app where it shows you like the shares you bought,
Mm-hmm.
I had it to where it showed the last price. Because on the app it only shows you either the last price or the percent, like not both at the same time. And
Oh yeah, I
you
see
can
it.
do it to your like return for the day, which I did not know you could do. So now I just have it on that.
Ooh,
It shows me.
I just did that. Wow.
See, because it's like the percent is cool and all, but if you're new, or not even if you're new, for the most part, I just to see how much money I'm losing. So like this doesn't say,
Mm-hmm.
but on my phone, I have it to like how much money I lost. So this will say like negative 200, but this says like up $200. So I like to see
Mm-hmm.
that versus because I just wait till this gets either to zero or even like in the green. Yesterday this was negative like $80, and today it just like jumped up. I was like, okay, so I'm trying to wait for these three to just go back up. But we'll see. But like, I'd rather it show me just what I gain or lost because like I'm not good with following percentages all day.
Mm-hmm.
Like some people are good. Like, oh, I bought Delta at like $30. So once I get to like 40, I'm gonna sell. Like all that shit is too much for me to think about all day. So when I just show my gains and losses, I'm like, okay, it's up 200. Maybe I'll sell it. Once it starts to drop, maybe I'll sell it. Versus like these percent, sometimes it's like too much to keep up with, in my opinion.
Mm-hmm. I'm not gonna lie. Buying I'm okay with, but like when it's come to the selling part, I'm just like, okay, I don't really know.
That's
So I'm just like staring at him like, well, you're gonna go up, you're just gonna stay there. And then if you
Nope.
go down again, at a reasonable price,
That's
I'll
kind
buy
of
more.
where charting comes in. It's like that people put lines, like say you on like Thinkorswim, I would put a line here that would go straight through, and that would be like a point of resistance. So once it broke this line, what you did here, you would assume it's going to keep going up. And then once it goes below that line, you would just assume it's going to go down.
Then you would basically sell before it got lower.
Right. Or you would set like where you're willing to lose. Like usually you wait for it to bounce the line and then you would sell. You would still collect the gain for the most part.
Gotcha.
So that's why charting is like, I feel like it's not necessary, but it kind of is for that point. But also, like I said, like the morning and the evening are when things are just super high and super low. So you should buy or sell in the morning. Like I kid you not, every time I've sold my stocks for some reason, it's at like 9:30.
Yeah.
Even like now.
Well, that's like 6:30 in California. So I mean, like I'm already up that early, anyways.
Good.
So
That's
it's like
right. See, like today the market closed at 4, and I made like 600 after hours. And watch, as soon as the market opens, the shit's gonna go down. So I probably should just sell some stuff right now, and then let it see where it goes after that. But
see, like right now, I'm looking at mine. I'm down, but it's not a lot. Like, when did I go? Earlier today at like basically like 6:30 when people were selling, I went down like 1%, and I was like, oh well, but it also picked back up and
right,
it went higher.
Covers honestly. So like this was me. So I started with 7,500. I got it up to like 10,100. I sold everything. Then I reinvested it. Like I had all these stocks. I bought like all these stocks before, and I condensed it to like these, and then it tanked. Like I was down. Like I was at like 8,500. Like I lost like $1,500, but you don't lose till you sell. So I was like, nope, I'm just gonna wait, and I waited, and now I'm up. So as long as you just wait, you'll be fine. Like sometimes you have to wait a year, and then sometimes this might not even be worth it. Like these 3 I'm holding on to at some point, if they don't come up. This one came up today and I didn't sell it like an idiot, but I'm only down like 100 on that one. And maybe if I get down to just like 100 on these, I'll sell them and then just use the money to buy something else. Like sometimes it might just stay down, so there's no point. But I feel like in the recession, I honestly can just hold on to these for a year and then they'll go back up.
Yeah.
So it's like it's like a guessing game.
Is this the real money you made today, or is this the fake money?
This is the real money I made. I didn't make 11,000 today. I made
274.
I made 274 plus the 671.
Oh my god, that's so cool.
So today is like the day in the market hours and then the after hours from 4 to 6.
Wow.
Is like 600. Yeah.
So you're just doing day trading now?
I do swing trading, but technically it's a type of day trading. But it's more like, I buy things and sell them either the next week and then buy something else, sell like the next week. Or today I did 2 day trades. So yeah, I kind of just mix it up.
And then where do you get your information from?
I do a lot of YouTube. I look up YouTube all the time. There's some people who trade live on YouTube. I join a lot of groups. So this guy wants to give me some fitness things. Let me see. I think my favorite one is day trading stocks and options. And you just join them and people are like, what are we buying today? Or I'm down. Stop pumping these things. Some of them are like, oh, these 2 tomorrow. Like I don't use these. I kind of see this guy made a hell of a lot of money today. I like to use my information I use on YouTube and then get what I want. Like my friend kind of put me onto oil, and then I started with I'll start with taking advice from one person, and then I'll do my own research and do my own. And then
what's nice on Robinhood, I like that they give them little descriptions. I'm like, oh, what kind of company is? How many people are in that company? You know, it's kind of like, oh, I know a little bit more.
They have news too, and I do look at the top movers.
Mm-hmm.
These are my favorite. Jesus, Luckin Coffee. I heard this is a Chinese stock though. I invested in that one today. Someone called this out to me last night though on that group. I would have missed that. I missed American. Should have held that. But yeah, I just look at these. But for the most part, I kind of learned that gas and oil is just moving. And then with options, everyone's like AMD is moving a lot. Tesla, if you have the money, is moving a lot. So just when Tesla goes down, buy it. And then when it goes up, sell it. And you kind of do that. So however long it takes, 2 days, 3 days. And you just ride the wave. The only thing about the 100% ones, usually these are pump and dumps. So after these waves, usually they're kind of done. So, because
This is really interesting. And so, do you literally find yourself making money every day from these things?
Yeah, for the most part, I feel like this is how much I made this week. 19. Cause I'm trying to see the goal was with options. When I started learning options, I kind of was like, if I could make as much money as I make working, I might not even go back to work.
So you're saying that you made $11,000 this week from swing trading?
No. The small number. I made $1,900 this week.
That is so cool.
Thank you.
Wow. I think I need to have a one-on-one session with you so I can deep dive into this.
Yeah, we can do it. I've made 3,500 in 3 months. I started with $7,500.
$75?
$7,500. No.
Okay.
See, with options you can though, but they're just so hard to learn. Because with options you can guess whether it's going down. That's not. I keep doing that. It's not a stock. That's my.
This is almost like playing. This is like gambling almost.
It honestly is.
It's kind of not, because it's gonna go up, but it is kind of gambling because it's you're just waiting to catch it at the lowest of the low, but you might not. As long as you catch it, what's it with this one, CIDM. I bought it here at 4. No, when did I buy it? I bought it not at the top, but almost, and then it went down, so I lost money. But then it kind of went back, not back up, but it stabilized, so I made money. So as long as you catch it, not up here, I called it I think just below here.
That makes sense.
It went down.
Yeah.
But you never know. So I like to look at when I buy things, when I look at if it's -10%, -20%, and that's when I want to buy. Usually, because they usually just go right back up.
Yeah,
like
that's
this
true.
one. Well, this is a pump and dump.
You're saying you said Tesla is a good one to invest in right now?
It's a good short, like day trade one, not like a long term. I mean, Tesla, yeah, it's a good long term in general. It's just so expensive.
How much is a Tesla stock right now?
Probably $900. Let's see.
Man. Okay.
Right. So it's like unless you have this, you're gonna have one. So if it goes down, but see, like it goes down. Let's look at it in 1 month. See, like it's just going here, and then it goes here, and then it shoots up, and then like 2 months ago, it like went down here because he tweeted like crazy shit, like, "Oh, I'm losing my house," and all this depressing stuff. And then like
That's funny.
the space shuttle launched on Friday, and then it shot up, and then so it's like, and then he just was like, "Oh, I don't like Amazon anymore," so it went back down again. So it's like one of those apps day trading. You can like make money because you can just like buy here, sell here, and then buy here, sell here. If you're doing stocks, if you're doing options, you can like bet on it going down too, and it going up. But options are hard. I don't suggest it.
Can you explain what an option is?
Yes, an option is a contract of 100 shares of stock. So an option, let's see, options, trade all options. So this is the price that Delta is now, and this is calls. You have calls and puts. So calls are what you if you think it's going to go up, and puts is if you think it's going to go down. So say you think Delta is going to go up, you'll buy a call, and then you get more money on moves out of the money, but so they're more risky, but they're cheaper. These are already in the money because it's already above this price. So that's why some people like options because like, see, this is, you have to times it by 100 because it's 100 shares, but 26 times 100, and then you can make possibly like $2,000 from this little, well, I guess times 100, that'd be, yeah, $26. So $26, and you can possibly make like $1,000. That's why people like options. But since people are like they're less risk than stock, which technically they are, but I feel like you can lose your whole investment easier on options. You know what I'm saying? Like with this, if you buy a stock and it goes down, it's probably gonna go down 10%, 20%. So you're never gonna lose the whole money you put in. You know, you put $100 on Tesla, you'll lose $20 if it goes up. If you buy like this call option and you don't sell it before the expiration date, you'll just lose the 26. But you're still didn't lose, like a lot of money. But
okay.
So options I've been like literally watching videos on it all day. I mean, if you have the time, it's kind of worth it, but it's still hard. I had a good options day yesterday. I've been doing like those $20 options all day, and I made like $40 on one option, so I doubled my money. But
very nice.
They're hard, but my friend swears by them. Because it's like if you play Tesla with options, you can make so much money. Like I made like 10 grand on Tesla, fake money, because I practiced first.
Yeah,
big games, but I made like $10,000 in like an hour because you can just like catch the run up.
Wow, that is crazy.
It's crazy, but they're so hard to learn because you can sell an option, you can buy an option, you can sell a call, you can sell a put, you can buy an option, you can buy a put, and all those kind of things.
That is too that's too much information on me right now.
Right. Sorry. Yeah, it's a lot. So it's good to even like watch things on options if you want to just see, but you have to be ready. Like I was overwhelmed for a long time. I was like watching options videos like 24/7 for like a week, and I was like, my brain is numb.
Wow. Yeah, I can imagine. There's so much terminology when it comes to stocks too.
Right. Like this is my options account. I only put $600 in here. So that's what I'm willing to lose. So I bought Tesla, like shot up the other day, shot up. And then I bet that it's going to go down by July 20th. So I have till July 20th for it to go down. Right now I'm negative $3.
That's crazy. This is
so wow. Yeah, you can bet And then like this stock, I bet it will go down by the end of the year. So you can, but the longer the year, like the contract, you have more time. Then I bought this one, like, oh, this one's gonna go up. So you can bet on things.
So let's say that it does go up, like you said, or it does go down like you pictured. Will you get more money because you're right?
Yes.
Okay. What if you're wrong?
If
What
I'm
happens?
wrong, then I will lose. Right now I'm down $3.50. If I just, it can keep going down. But luckily my max loss is what I paid for this option. I think I paid $40, so I won't lose more than $40.
Oh, that's good.
Right. But you can possibly make as much as you want. But since this one, the cheap ones are out of the money, so they have to move a lot for you to make money, which is the thing. If you buy them in the money, they don't have to move that much.
Yeah.
So it's a hard game, but so I'm still learning these, but options are, some people say it takes them like a year or two to get a hang of it, but once they do, they love it and they just quit their jobs. I was like, I don't know about that.
When did you get into this?
Into options or into trading in general?
Trading in general.
So I think 2 years ago, 2018, I was at a point where I was like, okay, I keep talking about wanting to be rich and I don't know how to start. So this one guy sat me down and was like, you gotta do this, 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 and this. And then, so I was like, get rid of your debt first, save money, all those things. And I kind of was just saving a lot of money from work because like what I do, you can't have fun. You can't do anything.
What is your work?
I work in film and I dress people and we have like 12-hour days and stuff. So it's like, I don't have time to really do anything after I go to the gym. So you're
in the medical field?
No, I'm in the entertainment industry.
Okay, wait. So what did you say? For some reason I heard you say dental, but what did you say you do for 12 hours?
Film. Like I'm on set and I work in more.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. What do you do on set?
I dress people.
Oh, that's so cool.
It's a fun job. Yeah, so I work 12-hour days, sometimes like 17-hour days. So I don't have time to really do anything. So I literally make, and like we get catered stuff on set, catered food. So I don't really buy groceries. Like I just started saving so much money. And I was like, I want to make money for me. But I knew at the time I was saving like $1,000 or $2,000 a month. So like I can't buy a house or I can't like,
yeah,
that's so much money. So what can I do? So that's when I was like, first I was dumb and asking my boyfriend so I don't know if you know my ex, but he was not an investor, but you just like ask people, but then he did suggest.
We're not going to talk about that.
Yeah, we're not going to talk about him. My friend suggested Acorns. That's how I started. But then I started just Googling like ways to invest when you don't, like just doing my research. Like education is like the best part. Like learning things helps you. And then so I just started reading and I started doing the mutual funds because again, I was scared to pick stocks and I didn't even do stocks until quarantine. Honestly, I just read stock books for 2 years. I had Robinhood for 2 years, and I just think because once the market fell, it just felt better because like everything's cheap. I don't want to spend money.
Yeah,
and then when you get into it, you're like, wait, there's a bunch of cheap stocks. It's not just like because when you think stock market, when you're working and stuff, you think Amazon, Tesla, Apple. All these shits are so expensive. So that's why for the longest, like no one wants to invest. No one wants to invest.
Yeah.
Like Shopify is at like $300, like crazy. Which is, I guess when you're rich, that's not crazy. Because I thought Amazon was high at $300 like 5 years ago, and now it's $2,000.
It's like 2,400. It's crazy.
Yeah, so it's like.
And I saw it at $1,890 last year, and I was like, I don't want to buy that. And now it's even higher. It's like I just need to buy it.
Right. It just turns you off of it. So I was just like, so then once Corona came, everything got like super cheap. I was like, you know what?
Except Amazon.
Right. Amazon is still growing, and Bitcoin. Bitcoin's moving a lot though.
I will say though, there is this one company that I actually, because I also teach on the side, and have you heard of Chegg?
Yeah.
Okay, so so I did it's also like a tutoring company, a teaching company for people that want to go into different careers. And so I did invest and I bought like 3 shares of that, and it did like triple. So I was happy about that because like online education has went up due to Corona. So I was happy I invested in that one.
Dope. See? It's just hard. It is scary to find like plays and stuff that what you want to do. I get for like swing trading and stuff, but for the most part, you kind of just take a chance and either just hold it forever or go to Google.
So do you like study startups basically, and then from there like choose startups you believe in that you want to invest in? Like how do you do it?
I do not do that because that's like the way to get rich, obviously, but it's just so risky because if it never goes up or something,
yeah,
it's hard. Yeah, those are hard because that's what like my ex used to say, like, you have to find a small company and invest in it like Bitcoin. I'm like, no, you don't. Like, obviously, Bitcoin people are rich as fuck, but you can still make money. So for the most part, I looked at, once I knew gas and oil were cheap, what did I do? I would just go to search and I'd be like, gas and oil and gas. And then I would just go here and just look up ones. And I looked at ones that moved a lot. Like, so this one moved 17%. So like when that one goes back down, I might buy that. And it's 93 cents. It's like, boom. And then this one, $2, 11%. That's a good move. Because I like, the average move is like 12%, but I like to look at least like 15 and things that move a lot. And I just like would look through here. This one looks, okay, that one's too cheap. Like if it's like 18 cents, I probably wouldn't buy it. Like at least 50 cents. But I try not to buy a lot of these, like maybe 1 or 2 of them. And keep them at like the $5 to like $10 range.
Yeah.
These, when they move, this one's not bad, Tetra Technologies. Because when they move more on these, you make more. Versus like if this one moves $2, you like made 100%. Versus if Delta moves $2, you made like 10%. So that's the nice thing about the gas. And the gas has been moved in. Like a lot of
Have you tried investing in like medical?
I looked up some medical, but I can't find the good ones yet. Like I don't know. Like a lot of people do medical and they do biotech. Like if you YouTube people, they love biotech. They're always like, this company is making a vaccine today because they say it's better because the FDA puts out things about drugs or something. So you can just invest in the company right when you know that the FDA announcement is coming, and they come out all the time. That's what people say. Like if you just get, like when announcements come out, stocks usually go up and they drop after usually or something like that. So if you can like find announcements. I do Moderna. Moderna is when I made money on Moderna on options. I made like $15 or something on it.
Okay, cool.
So
what's the tax rate on stocks?
I don't know. Because like I know on Thinkorswim they charge you like a commission like for their service. But I don't know what I think it's the tax. It's taxed yearly. I know that, like when you do your taxes, but I forgot. Like they don't take it out every time, except Betterment, like your retirement ones or your long-term ones.
Yeah.
The real estate ones tax you when you take stuff out for sometimes. But these don't.
I think they do.
These don't think you do till you file at the end of the year, which is nice. I could be wrong.
Yeah.
So is this?
Did your retirement? Did you do?
What'd you say?
When you did your retirement fund, did you do Roths or did you do traditional?
I did Roth IRA.
Okay, cool.
Roths are the best. So I've heard.
I agree.
But I don't know. I hate the cap on it per year. But at first I was like, that's more money. And then once I like made more money, I was like, I mean, it's not that much money, but it just sucks like once you do make a lot of money.
Exactly. I was wondering why you can invest so much with a 401k but not your individual. Like, I think it's kind of weird.
It's weird. They're like, well, you get carried away. I'm like,
yeah.
I don't have a choice. I don't have a full-time job like other people.
And then, like, once you're over 125, you can't even, or is it 130 or something? You can't even use the Roths anymore. I thought that was interesting too.
Right. I think it's made for people who like don't. It's not meant for people who can be rich, really. Like rich. But they say like if you max it out, it should get to $1 million in like 40 years.
40 years.
Okay, well, they'll be there.
Yeah.
They'll be there for me. But I don't know. I feel like
I thought about investing in like gaming companies.
ooh, those are. I don't know about
But
all of them. I did Activision last week, but I did an option on it, so I bet it would go up.
can you do that on the app for Robinhood, or it's just
Yeah, you
online?
have to get approved for options. So you have to go to your settings and apply, and then they'll let you do it on your phone. You just go to settings, and then our account, and then go. Yeah, the account settings, and like apply for options, and they'll just approve you in like a day.
Because I recently just did something on the app because I haven't been on it in a while. It's like, oh yeah, I did. So it says, welcome, get started by learning about trading options on Robinhood. So I guess I did it.
Probably did it, yeah. And it'll just show you.
Interesting.
Gaming companies, I'll just look. Again, if you're holding long term, just look at like the year or the 5-year.
Yeah, that's what I like. Even
And boom.
if like stocks are really low for a company, I'm like, all right, but like, why are you so low? Did you even like,
Right.
is this your highest?
Exactly.
Like,
You're gonna come back. Like this was at this 2018. How long ago?
I don't know if you guys know yet or have heard, but like Hertz, the car rental place, and all their other branches, they filed for bankruptcy and they're closing their stuff. So
it's like
this whole pandemic has really made me question like a lot of businesses. Even malls. I feel like malls eventually will go out of business as well.
For sure. All these retail people are like going out of business. I'm just like
y'all need to go virtual. Like that's the move. Like sell your things online because I don't know. I feel like that's just how people buy things now.
Hertz had a good day today. I don't know what news came out.
But I know they're like they're basically closing their company or something. I don't know what's gonna happen to them because, you know, right now you can't really travel, so you can't really rent a car, or like they're not making enough like sales to keep the company going and all its employees. Because you also gotta pay to service the cars and like basically their agents. So if you guys are trying to get buy a new car or like a used car, look into those companies that the car rental.
Oh, that's a great idea. Oh my gosh, thanks for that tip. I'm gonna share that tip.
Because I know people like, I really need a car. I'm like, okay, but you want a car, but are you okay with like a second, like as a second person owning it, or like a used car, or do you really want the newest car? Like, are you willing to pay that much monthly? But like, you say that you have all this money now because like, oh, the pandemic, this and that, but you also have to think about like, is your company gonna